Good morning. Just read Hosea chapter 7. He's continuing a response he has to Israel in this chapter. And he talks a lot about bread. He's making some imagery, some comparisons of Israel to bread. First, like bread that didn't rise, even after it was needed. So God had worked over Israel, given them judges in the past, and they're just not reacting to what he's given them in the past. And then he talks about they're like a bread that hasn't turned, so they're basically getting heat on one side. All the heat's coming from Baal worshiping and not from God. Talks about like a piece of bread in the oven and the baker's fallen asleep. Or also just bread that has been turned to fire, like it's just a heap of fire coals now. I think the image is just trying to tell how ridiculous they've been, and they're not being smart. Talks about the other nations that are going to look down on them. Even the nations they turn to, Egypt and Assyria, are going to look down on them for their foolishness. And that's what this imagery is. It's just foolishness on their part. It's a call to respond to our faith. Israel didn't respond to faith at all. They just kept going their own way. And when you've been given some kind of spiritual enlightenment in your life and you don't respond to it, what good is it? You might as well just leave that bread in the fire. Some people get experiences, like Brother Terry getting healed. Some people just have an awakening for a point that they have, and they just don't respond. They see these great things, they see God working, and they don't respond to it. And that's what Israel's been doing here. They see God working, and they don't respond. They're still turning to Baal. I'm reminded of when the prophet Elijah made the fire come down on the offering that was soaked in water. They didn't respond, and it's foolishness on their part, and it's foolish if we do that. So that's what he's pointing out here.